Alright, for the second part, which is the fourth 9 weeks, week 1 starts off with fashion studio and houses. And it's ask you for name 4 items that you would find in a sewing room. So think about when you're in front of a sewing room, what type of things are you going to need? Of course, you're obviously going to need a sewing machine, fabric if you're sewing, thread if you're sewing, needles, shears, rulers, measuring tape. There's actually so many things that you can think that you may use in a sewing room, and so it's only going to ask you for 4 things. Week 2, fashion publishing. So the month actually that's most important in the fashion publication is September. The September issue covers fall and winter. What months cover spring and summer? And that is going to be the March issue. Who is the editor-in-chief of Vogue? And that's obvious. We've talked about this person so many times, and that's Anna Wintour. Week 3. Week 3 is vendors, buyers, and merchandisers. So, one of the questions that it was going to ask you, what type of permit should a vendor always have when shopping for product merchandise? And that is a seller's permit. What is a buyer? A buyer is, together with fashion merchandisers, they plan and make buying decisions based on the customer's buying pattern, company budget. They analyze how much each item to buy and mix of brands and what to buy for each location that will drive profit. And then it asks you, what's a seller's permit and how can you obtain one? This is going to be a short answer, so please make sure you're listening. If you buy products to resell in the state of Texas, you can avoid paying sale taxes on your purchase by using a tax resale certificate. Always keep in mind that you should only use your resale certificate to buy items you intend to resell. How can you obtain? Using a resale certificate in Texas is fairly straightforward, and you can print one online. And that's week 3. Week 4, we talked about fashion education. So on week 4, it's going to give you a list of schools, and you're going to choose out of them which is not an art design school. Typically, you're going to look for names that have Art Institute, the Institute, College of Fashion. You're never going to see something that's going to say university. For example, the University of Houston is not a fashion school. The next question it asks you, what does a fashion school require? Most of fashion schools require you to have a fashion portfolio. And then after that, the next thing it asks you is to give an example of a 4-year traditional university. So you have like your typical University of Houston, Sam Houston State University. I'm not looking for any institutes, art schools. I'm looking for a 4-year traditional university. So make sure you know what I'm talking about. For week 5, we have employment. And so it asks you, blank is used to describe the positive work behavior and personal qualities which make individuals more likely to gain employment, and that's employability. The next question is, a specific style of behavior in the workplace is professionalism. Lastly, we have week 7, Mexican fashion. So it asks you, in the Mexican Revolution, what was the name of the Mexican woman soldier or soldadera? And her name was Petra Herrera. At what era women wear big hair and slim silhouettes? And that was actually the 70s. And lastly, the last question, who is an upcoming haute couture designer? In this, you can actually find on week 7, Friday, and I gave you a bunch of different fashion designers' names. Make sure you know which one to pick out. Good luck!